This video is going to go over the 10.2 additional practice. So there are 4 problems today, and I am going to go over number 1 and number 2 with you. And then I'd like you to try 3 and 4 on your own. They're very similar. So number 1 tells us that Rita earned $10.75 per hour. So every hour, $10.75 working at a bookstore. We want to write an equation that shows Rita's earnings, D in dollars, for every hour she works at the bookstore. So I know every hour she gets $10.75. So I would take $10.75 and multiply that by the hours. So here's my coefficient, $10.75 times H equals D for dollars. So we don't know how many hours she's worked, so we can't figure out how many dollars. But our D is going to depend, the dollars she earns depends on how many hours. So she gets to choose how many hours she works, or the store tells her how many hours she has to work. That determines, and so the dollars depend on her hours. So now we want to know if she worked 22 and a half hours, how much did she earn? So we're going to plug this in here. So one thing I noticed is that $10.75 uses decimals, and this uses fractions. So personally, I would rather use decimals so then I don't have to make them improper and change everything. And this is really easy to change into a decimal. I have half. If I have half of a whole thing, that is 0.5. So I want to take $10.75 and I'm going to multiply that by 22.5. So we're going to take our $10.75 and times 22.5 hours. So I want you to go ahead and try this. So remember this first one, our answer is going to start here. The next time when we multiply by this 2, it has to start in the next place over. And then when I multiply by this second 2 here, it has to start in the third place. It's 3 places over. So I want you to go ahead and try that and then come back and you can check your work with me. So 5 times 5 is 25. 35, 36, 37. Here's 0 and 3 is 3 and 5. Okay, so I'm going to cross these out so I don't accidentally use those again. So here's my placeholder. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. 2 times 0 is 2 plus 1 is 2. And 2 times 1 is, oh, sorry, not 2. Let me come back. Got carried away there. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So now I have my double placeholders as I'm multiplying by this third place over. So 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 7 is 14 plus 1 is 15. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1 is 1. And 2 times 1 is 2. So now I'm going to add these up. 5, 7, 8. Here's 10 and 1 is 11. 2, 3, 4, and 2. So now I need to come and count my decimal places. I can see 1, 2, 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3 decimal places. And just double checking here. So we're going to round this up since we're talking about money. And so we're going to come to our hundredths place. Look back behind. The 5 is big. So it makes this 7 bump up. So she will make $241.88 if she works for 22 and a half hours. Number 2 says that Joyce is running a half marathon, which is 13.1 miles long. So we want to write an equation that shows the number of miles y she has left after running X amount of miles. So I'm hearing we want to do how much she has left. So that's telling me it's going to be a subtraction problem here. So I know the total she has to run is 13.1. And she's ran X amount. So we're going to take away the amount she's run, and that leaves us with the number she has left to go. So Y is what she has left. So this depends, Y depends on how much she's already run. So if she's only run 3 miles, she still has a lot left to go. But if she's run 10 miles, then she only has a little bit left to go. So Y depends on X. So we want Y to be that answer to show this depends on what happens in this problem over here. So now we know she has run 9.7. How much does she have left? So she's run, so right, this running, how much she's run is X. So we're going to plug in 13.1 minus 9.7, and that will equal Y. We already have Y by itself, so all we need to do is subtract here, and that will tell us how much she has left. So I'm going to let you go ahead and try number 3 and 4 on your own. So think about what is happening. Are we multiplying and they're doing the same thing over and over again? Are we finding out what's left and we want to subtract? Are we getting more added on that we need to add to it? So think about what's happening in the problem, write your equation, and then it's going to give you something to plug into your equation and solve for. So go ahead and try those. And if you still need help, be sure to let me know and we can set up a time to meet together.